Hello everybody, my name is CD, and we're going to be playing Super Mario Bros., released in 1985 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This game is legendary, it has a huge legacy behind it. It's the game that led the gaming industry out of the crash of 1983, along with the NES itself. Is one of the best-selling games of all time, still to this day. I'm not sure where it's at now. I'm pretty sure there's other games that sold more than this one did. But this game is absolutely legendary. Like it's way up there in legendary status, which I'm sure most people know unless they have been living under a rock. I don't think you're gonna find anybody that doesn't know about this game, who doesn't know who Mario is. I said that about Pac-Man in my Pac-Man video. I feel like you just can't go through life not knowing who this character is, not knowing anything about Super Mario Brothers, and just how it has such a massive impact on the world, and not even just on video games, but the world itself. It just has that legendary status, you know. But I do have to say, this is not my first Mario game. I actually got my start on video games with the Game Boy Advance. The Game Boy Advance was my first game console, my first game system. I was born in 1999, so I got my start with the 6th generation of video games. So, this wasn't my first game. In fact, I actually didn't get this game until, like, quite later on. My first Super Mario game was Super Mario Advance, which is a Game Boy Advance remake of Super Mario Bros. 2. There wasn't really any port of Super Mario Brothers on the Game Boy Advance. There was Super Mario Brothers Deluxe for the Game Boy Color. There was an NES Classic port. Like, Nintendo released an NES Classic line for the Game Boy Advance, and Super Mario Brothers was one of them. I had probably 3 different NES Classic games for the Game Boy Advance. I think I had Metroid at one point, but I let somebody borrow it and I didn't get it back. Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong, and Dr. Mario. But somehow I ended up never getting this game. I never ended up getting the NES Classic Super Mario Brothers for Game Boy Advance. So I went my first 10 years of living probably not even playing this game. I think I played this game for the first time at some mall somewhere, at one of my local malls. Somebody had the game set up in a mall, and I probably played it for like 2 minutes, and then I had to go back with my mom to, so she could finish shopping or whatever. It wouldn't be until I got the Wii and then I learned about the Wii Shop channel, and I discovered Wii Points cards and Wii Points, and which is the currency that's used on the Wii Shop channel. That was when I discovered the virtual console, where they sold, where Nintendo put out a lot of retro games that were available digitally. Which is something that was completely new to me, because I never seen these games before. This was the first time I was able to experience those games, and I was finally able to get my hands on the game back in 2010, I believe. Yeah, that was the first time I was able to play it. I think my first time owning, my first hands-on experience, like my first true hands-on experience, was probably Super Mario All-Stars. I remember when Nintendo released a 25th anniversary, or was it? Yeah, it was a 25th anniversary of Super Mario, and I got the Super Mario All-Stars port for the Wii. It was quite literally just the Super Nintendo game, and I think that was the first time I've played the game. Either that or it was the Virtual Console version for the Wii. And I think I was 11 at the time. But before that, I had only seen gameplay on YouTube. Like, I was looking up like different YouTubers playing the game, and that was a time to be alive because I would be looking up all my favorite video games or video games that I was interested in, and I couldn't even really watch any of the people's videos because they would always be very profane in their videos, and my mom was very strict about that, and she didn't want me to hear a lot of people on the internet just being themselves, or well, just being very profane, like the language they were using and whatnot. So I kind of had to sneak and watch videos on YouTube for quite some time before she loosened up what I was able to see. But anyway, I got the game. I played the game for the first time back in 2010, and I had a pretty bad first impression with the game. When you start off with any of the 2D Mario games after this game, it leaves a very bad first impression on somebody, like especially me as the 11-year-old I was. I did not have a good first impression with this game simply because of how heavy Mario felt. I wasn't used to it felt very weird controlling Mario to me because of how weighty he was. The controls were just so refined in all the sequels. I guess I just felt spoiled. I was being spoiled by all the other 2D Mario games that succeeded it. And playing this game for the first few times that I did was pretty humbling because I wasn't able to beat it for a few years, and I kind of had to rely on, actually not the first few years, but maybe the first couple of years. So I had to kind of rely on the save states, I must admit, because I got the game on 3DS eShop when Nintendo started putting out 3DS games, when they put out NES Virtual Console games on the 3DS. I got the game on there and I played it, and it had a save state feature, and I kind of abused that so I could go through each stage with the Fire Flower in hand. So I was kind of cheating and relying on save states back then because I wasn't good at the game. It was definitely an instance where I just sucked at the game and I was being spoiled by the refined physics of 2D Mario that would come to in the future of 2D Mario. But yeah, this whole video was just me talking about a bit of my history with the Mario franchise. I've still got a lot to say about each Mario game and my history and with the games. And this video was kind of my story about my experience with Super Mario Brothers, and I think I've got a lot more to say in the next video. So with that all being said, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Have a blessed day.